Alright guys, welcome back to DC Allies. This is our first hero overlook, looking at probably everyone's favorite hero in the game, Batman. He is a flank character. This allows him to flank around in the shadows, basically fits Batman's whole aura and deal. He basically will make your backline miserable, while also sneaking around in the shadows, causing you pains, and you can't even see him that much. His primary, of course, is his batarangs, which have a rebound effect, basically allowing you to bounce them off walls and ceilings, basically allowing you to get pot shots from around a corner. And they also have a seeking arc, making them arc inward or outward, depending on where the enemy is, basically giving you a little bit of an aim assist if your aim kind of sucks. He also has a passive called Cape Crusader, which allows him to glide off ledges by spreading his cape out, using it as a form of a hang glider, and basically maneuvers as such. His first ability is his Batcycle, which allows him to call and deploy the Batcycle, which allows him to motor around for 8 seconds, basically giving him ×2 speed, and allowing him to use his second ability called Deploy Sticks, which he can only use while on Batcycle, which allows him to tase an enemy player while on the cycle. And then of course his Utility Belt is his most famous ability, allows him to cycle between 6 mini abilities that we'll talk about later. But of course his ultimate is the Batmobile. He calls in the Batmobile and allows him to run around the map, running over enemies, pushing them back, shocking them with a taser pole similar to his deploy sticks for the Batcycle, and at the end he jumps out and then self-detonates the Batmobile, dealing a large AoE splash damage attack. Alright, so when talking about Batman's Utility Belt, obviously it is most famous for having pretty much any device Batman needs in any possible situation. This Utility Belt has up to 6 abilities that Batman can use when he activates them. First is the Bat Bola, allows him to throw it at an opponent, wraps around their legs, and trips them over. The second is the Bat Stun Gun, which stuns an enemy for 1 second, pretty useful when having a fast charging Superman hunting you down. The second is the Bat Bomb, a smoke grenade type scenario which allows you to smoke an area so that you can disappear or fight an enemy while they are blinded. The Bat Gas works similar to the Bat Bomb, but is a sleeping gas type situation which slows enemies in its cloud and knocks them out if they don't escape the cloud in time. The fifth ability is a Flash Grenade. Basically, the Bat Flash is just a flash grenade that you throw into an area, flashes, and does a bit of damage. And then finally, Bat Gel is his patented ability, which he squirts his sticky gel onto an enemy, and then it explodes over time, dealing an explosive AoE attack that stakes onto an opponent. And of course, we can't talk about Batman but with his friends and foes. First is his big team up between the other 2 biggest superheroes, the big 3 team up, which is Superman, Batman, and of course Wonder Woman. When Superman is active and on your team, Batman gains the ability to call in the Batwing for limited flight mobility for 6 seconds, and Wonder Woman's passive flight speed is increased by 35 to 45%. Obviously this makes sense for Batman because the Batwing gives him aerial mobility for a limited time because the other 2 can fly passively. When Wonder Woman is active, Superman's primary punch ability does 10 to 15 more damage per punch on the same enemy, and this stacks up to 4 times, so he can do potentially up to 40 to 60% more damage if he punches the same enemy 4 times in a row. And then of course when Batman is active and on the same team, Wonder Woman gains the access to her invisibility jet. Even though she can passively fly, this invisibility jet allows her to heal herself while she's in it and fly around much more quicker than she can for 6 seconds max. But of course, when Superman is on the opposite team, this team up becomes not a friend situation but a foe situation, as the Nemesis Injustice rivalry begins between Superman and Batman. When Superman is on the opposite team, Batman gains the upper hand with a 7th option added to his Utility Belt ability called Kryptonite Spear. His cooldown is 8 seconds. When the Kryptonite Spear is out, it heavily weakens any nearby enemy Superman, making him slower, lessens his damage output, and damage done to him is empowered. Hitting Superman with this Kryptonite Spear takes a third of his max HP away, potentially killing him if he's on critical HP. Another nemesis where Batman takes the upper hand is of course his classic nemesis with the Joker. The Joke's on You nemesis pits the Joker against Batman. When the Joker is on the other team, Batman is immune to his laughing gas, not taking a single smile or laughing whatsoever, and taking 50 to 67% reduced damage to this ability. He also when Joker tries to use his passive backstab, which instinctively allows him to backstab an opponent at any time, Batman can dodge this passive by moving from side to side when near the Joker. And of course, the other nemesis that Batman is inside is the Poison Ivy some symbiotic seduction nemesis. Unfortunately for Batman, this is the one nemesis where he does not have the upper hand, as Poison Ivy being on the other team, Batman is affected for 2 seconds longer by her Kiss of Death, which allows her to take advantage of him and control his ability, control him, basically some form of mind control, and Poisonous Lust, which allows him to never deal damage to her for a limited time. This means that Batman is susceptibly weak against Poison Ivy. Of course, when Ivy is controlling Batman via her Kiss of Death, Batman's cooldowns are 2 seconds less for each ability, allowing Poison Ivy to use his abilities more frequently than Batman can himself. And then of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. That is our overview on Batman. We'll be reviewing Superman next. Make sure to like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe down below if you like the video, and comment down below which character you think is the best in DC Rivals, DC Allies. Sorry, don't. Toodaloo!